All right, looks like we're live. What's happening, everybody? Robert Phoenix here. Welcome to the Daily Dose, also known as 15 Minutes of Flame. It is the 9th of April. What's going on out there? We are now broadcasting to you live from 15 Minutes of Flame, the website, simulcasting to you also over on YouTube. And this communique will be available later today on Spreaker for all of you who are into the podcast side of things and just want to hear me and don't necessarily want to see me. So welcome to today's show. We have a lot of ground to cover and some very interesting topics that are related to what we talked about yesterday in a lot of ways. One of the things that I wanted to get into is last night, just a little bit, just a quick update. Even though I was not there, we had a meeting over here in Fredericksburg. It was kind of a meeting, film, a discussion. Sam Brannon from San Marcos was there. The film was Our Daily Dose, and we're doing our very, very best to kind of educate and update the people of Fredericksburg around fluoride and fluoridation and what that means, and how the whole idea of informed consent comes into play. I was not there, unfortunately, because I had something else I had to take care of last night. But I'll get some updates, and I'm going to try and get Sam on the show on Friday. And Sam's a really interesting character. He basically spearheaded San Marcos's effort to get fluoride out of the water. It was a 2-year affair down in San Marcos. We're fast-tracking this here about 9 months. And Sam is a really insightful guy. He's part of the Red Pill family and a really fine example of somebody who woke up one morning and got it. And not just got it, but he also did something about it, right? He did something about what was going on in his local area, made a difference, and so we'll find out more about Sam, hopefully, if he's available. I got to reach out to him, and it's just a good local story. How is everybody this morning? It's a beautiful day. Like, it is incredibly beautiful today, here, right here, and if you are anywhere close to the kind of weather we're having today, it's the kind of day that you just want to take it in. There are no chemtrails in the sky. It's blue. Right, it's kind of that older blue that we were used to at one point in time. So it's a great day. We're right at the beginning of spring. It's a good time to feel alive. It's to celebrate your existence, your life here in this domain, whatever it is that we're agreeing to it as. I wanted to talk a little bit about yesterday's show. A little bit of a follow-up to yesterday's show, and the sort of the dehumanization that has taken place with just our process in general, and starting with a very, very young age, which is what we were talking about yesterday with the vaccination. The vaccination part is always kind of in play. But talking about the transgenderism and the early onset of transgender strategies in children. So but I wanted to continue on that just a little bit today. It's funny, sometimes these stories appear and then they disappear quite quickly. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is I wanted to talk about Walmart and what's going on in Walmart and how it kind of feeds into this idea of dehumanization. So I found this story on Yahoo, and it was on the front page of Yahoo, and then it disappeared pretty quickly. And there's a reason why it disappeared quickly, in my estimation, because they kind of want to bury this stuff. So, as you might recall, I actually had a conversation with a Walmart employee a couple of weeks ago, and she'd been at Walmart for 30 years. I can't imagine working at any job for 30 years, let alone Walmart for 30 years. But, God bless her, performs a role, performs a function, provides jobs. Is it ideal? No, it's not. That said, there are major changes taking place at Walmart. So this is from Yahoo, and it's today. Julia LaRoche is the author of the piece. And I'll throw the link in to the chat room over on YouTube. You say hi to the YouTube folks. Let's see, what do we got here? Let me throw the chat. I'm just going to go over here, throw it into the public comments section. I'm going to paste that link. So if you guys want to check it out, it's right there. Good morning, everybody on YouTube. Hi, Beth. Hi, Ani. Hi, T-Grill. Nice to see you. And then for you folks over on the 15-minute side, let me throw that in there as well. Here we go. And we're synced up. I'm the master of two domains. So I think we've cracked the code. I think we've found a way to move back and forth between both sites, and hopefully one day soon you guys will all come over to 15 Minutes of Flame, because that was really the idea to begin with. Okay, so let me get into this story. Again, this is from Yahoo. The robots are coming to the world's largest big box retailer. This year, Walmart, WMT, plans an aggressive expansion of technology that will automate a range of low-level tasks within its fleet of U.S. stores, freeing up its associates to do more specialized work. Like what? Like, what is more specialized work inside of Walmart? Let's just, examine what people do at Walmart. People go there, they work, they stock the shelves, they answer a few questions, and God forbid you find somebody who is outside of their department who's kind of roaming, that you may know more than they do. Okay? They walk around with an RFID gun to check prices. That's what they do. How much more specialized does it get? Specialized work. No, what's happening is they're freeing up their associates to do more specialized work somewhere else, if that somewhere else exists, and if they actually have a job somewhere else. All right, let me get into this. The plan is to roll out 1,500 autonomous floor cleaners called the Auto C300, additional shelf scanners dubbed the Auto S. In addition, 1,200 more fast unloaders, that's FAST, you know it stands for something, will automatically scan and sort items from trucks, and 900 more pickup towers are expected to retrieve customers' online orders. If you haven't been to a Walmart lately, they have these pickup towers where they will basically roll your items out to this tower, and if they are big enough to be stored or small enough to be stored in a locker, they'll be stored in a locker. So you won't even have any human interaction. I mean, you'll basically order something, you'll go there, you go to the locker, you'll have your little code or your little card or whatever it is, and you'll take your goods away. It means that shoppers might soon encounter robots gliding up and down the retailer's aisles, scanning for inventory, maneuvering around shelves, and scrubbing the store's expansive floor space. They make Walmart seem like the Taj Mahal, don't they? Expansive floor space. Walmart has embraced new technologies like robots in order to complete more mundane tasks assigned to floor workers. Meanwhile, the roles assigned to its associates are evolving in the changing retail landscape. In particular, the rise of e-commerce has transformed the expectations of customers, shaping how the company operates inside its stores, affecting everything from inventory accuracy to the shopping experience. Walmart's move comes as autonomous technology is slowly infiltrating low-wage service sector jobs. Yeah, those jobs are the ones that people were clamoring for at $15 an hour. These people, I hate to say it, are not only short-sighted, but they're idiots. Okay, because what they should really be clamoring about is not their $15 an hour job, but a job in general. They're what they are. I'll tell you what they are. They are the mastodon. They're a species that's about to be extinct. They're the Brontosaurus Rex, right? That's what they are. They're the Brontosaurus, Tyrannosaurus. They're the Brontosaurus because they're about to be extinct. Now, they may have a Pyrrhic victory and they may have their $15 an hour wage for a very short period of time. Guess what? The robots are going to come in. Now, this robot who's cleaning the floor and performing janitorial services, it's taking away janitorial jobs. These are low-level jobs. Before you scoff at, well, a low-level job is really not a big deal. They're low-level jobs. They don't pay very much. I can tell you stories of people that have worked low-level jobs and have essentially moved up the ladder. They started in a very humble position, and they took it seriously, and they moved up. Yes, I know, it's corny. Now, can we have those same kinds of expectations in the digital age, the era of future shock? I don't think so. So let me continue to read this. However, a senior Walmart executive explained that the robots are meant to work alongside their human counterparts as they take on different roles akin to personal shoppers for the retailer's expanding online grocery offering. So essentially what the workers are going to do now is they're going to go run and fetch groceries. They're going to run around the store. Okay, they need this, they need this. Well, at some point, when they get the servo mechano arms down, because apparently the robots cannot stack shelves yet. That's still kind of a human experience. And they can't grab items yet. So they've got to deploy humans to run around and go do personal shopping because, God, it's so important for a person to go online and get their groceries online so that when they go there, it's all ready to go, and they just roll up like it's McDonald's, and they just load those groceries right in the car, and they never have to step foot in the store. That's I mean, it's I mean, and at some point, the groceries will just show up at your door. You won't even have to get up off your ass and do a thing. They'll just show up at your door. Personal shoppers. Doesn't that sound evolved? We're going to free them up to be personal shoppers. You know, the whole idea of like shopping, that they're the ones that are actually going to be buying the items, that's kind of what the language connotates. I'm a personal shopper. It's ridiculous. They can be personal shoppers until they figure out the robot arms. And when they figure out the robot arms, see you later. John Kresulis, Senior Vice President of Walmart's U.S. Central Operations, told Yahoo Finance in a phone interview that robots will operate a lot like smartphones. Look, it's R2-D2. Their assistants to help you be more effective in taking care of what the customer needs, to give you time to serve and sell. Oh, that sounds so noble. To serve and sell. For example, Walmart's AutoSee autonomous floor cleaner is currently operating in over 200 stores that uses autonomous technology to clean and polish floors, a task that would typically take 2 hours for associates to complete each day using a scrub machine. As a result, the associate responsible for riding the scrub machine now has more time to do more detailed cleaning. It just sounds so refined, doesn't it? Personal shopping, detailed cleaning. What the hell is detailed cleaning? If you look up under one of our racks out there, you're going to find product. And you're going to find floors that need to be cleaned underneath the racks, he said. The additional robotic help is allowing us to do that in restrooms and some of the other finer details that have taken longer to get to in the past. Cressilius added. Elsewhere, the AutoS shelf scanner, currently available around 50 stores, frees associates from the tedious work of going up and down the aisles scanning inventory. If you're standing in front of a shelf in one of our stores, it's really hard to identify all the issues that need to be addressed. So doing it can be very tedious, very challenging. AutoS scans shelves for out-of-stock items, misplaced merchandise, and wrong or missing labels. They also provide a blueprint for associates to address different issues faster and more effectively. Just getting, it's weird, just getting. Here are the things that need to be addressed, and seeing progress when you're addressing those things. Feeling progress as you're addressing those things, and your customers getting the things that they need as part of their basket just feels better. It feels better. No, it really doesn't feel better, because what you're doing as a Walmart associate, you're looking over your shoulder. It's like, you know, what the fuck is the robot going to do next? 180-degree shift. Meanwhile, in the back of the store, FAST, the FAST, F-A-S-T unloader, currently active in over 300 locations, automatically scans and sorts product unloaded from trucks based on inventory needs and departments. For a store, the morale, the turnover, the ability to do that role is night and day. It is a 180-degree shift, Cressilius said of the FAST unloader. Overall, the automated personnel are handling very mundane and repetitive tasks where turnover is high, Cressilius told Yahoo Finance. Should we look at some of the reactions? Here's the first one. 183 thumbs up. Low-level tasks within its fleet of U.S. stores, freed up its associates to do more specialized work, equals layoffs. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. I saw a robot working in a Walmart store recently. I knew it wasn't an employee because it was working. And I knew it wasn't a customer. It wasn't a customer because it didn't have pajamas on. That's funny. How many Walmart associates will lose their jobs as they get replaced with robot associates? I'd say probably about 20 to 30%. Business will invest in automation, but not the people that purchase their products. That's very interesting. Whenever I go to a store, I refuse to use the auto checkout. Coming soon to fast food, other intro jobs, blue-collar, mid-level jobs. I'm sure Ford and GM will bring this in for auto manufacturing soon enough. This combined with AI, you will see lots of jobs disappearing in the next 5 years. Bingo. It would be nice if some of these stores like Sam's, Walmart, etc. would have lookup situations throughout the store that customers could type an item or product and get the aisle number instead of walking aimlessly around. That's not a bad idea. This will undoubtedly lead to more job losses. It would be nice to see more checkers and self-checking stations open. When I go into Walmart, it's very difficult to find an associate in the store when you need help. That's true. When Sam was alive, you always had someone to help you. Oh boy. Freed up its associates to do more specialized work, like filling out their unemployment forms. That is the absolute winner of the comments. Absolutely. I know a lot of you don't shop at Walmart, but again, if you live in a rural, semi-rural area, it is one of the only games in town, like it is here. So if you have to get something, if you have to, it's an emergency purchase, or you don't want to travel 75 miles to San Antonio or 75 miles to Austin to get something, it's Walmart. Your option, if you don't like Walmart, is to order it from Amazon and then have it delivered because of kind of where we are. And more often than not, that's generally the case, where a lot of America still lives and will continue to live for the foreseeable future in rural and semi-rural areas. I think it's going to change within the next 10 to 15 years. It's a different discussion, but you know where I'm going with that. It's Agenda 21 land. Let me check in with the people in YouTube and see what the chat is going on. Let's see. I don't want to be branded negative. Safe here. Somebody asks how you doing. I think they generally want to know. That's true. What's going on here? 30 years running my own business. What did I miss? Got a lot of good mornings. Good to see you people. And then what's going on over here, over in the 15 minutes land? I don't know. I don't know what I want, personal shopper or good guesser. Let's see what else we have. Of course, I have to figure out how to compensate for the loss of revenue generated from impulse buying. Solar, the self-service checkout are bad enough. Now Roombas, yeah. So this is where it's all going. People aren't getting the memo. They're just not. They're not understanding really what's taking place and what's about to hit the population. You know, we're talking about a brave new world here, and it's on its way. How are people being conditioned to accepting this brave new world? Well, perhaps this might give you a little bit of insight into that process. Let me see if I can find this. This is from Soren Dreyer. This was posted back in March, but it's an interesting story. And it's titled, let me throw this in the various chats so you guys have it if you want to reference this. Let me get on over to YouTube. Throw it down. There we go. There's another link for you guys. It all starts when we're very young. It all starts when we're now I see kids 3, 4, 5 years of age with cell phones. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Let me read you this story. Let me find it. Here we go. Almost half of young people aged between 18 to 24 have reported feeling less productive and more tired because of their mobile phones, new research has found. An increased number of people are experiencing what scientists described as technoference, which is when mobile phone use causes interruptions during everyday life. Researchers from Queensland University of Technology, also known as CUT, conducted a study to determine whether problematic use of mobile phones is worsening in Australia. According to their findings published in the scientific journal Frontiers, 24% of women, 50% of men can be categorized as problematic mobile phone users. Now let's back that age out a little bit. Let's take it from the 18-year-old sector. The iPhone has been around since 2007. We're here, it's 2019. Been around for 12 years. So the 24-year-olds would have been exposed to the first iPhones at the age of 12. Let's say at about 16, they get their first iPhone, 15, 16. So they've been on their iPhones since their mid-teens. If we go back to the 18-year-olds, that iPhone was around since they were 6, which means that they might have been exposed to their first version of the iPhone anywhere between 11 and 12. My son got his first iPhone, rolls eyes, when he was 11. Okay, here we go. They also found that 40.9%, okay, let me go back to this. Okay. They also found that 40.9% of the 18 to 24-year-olds and 23.5% of the 25 to 29-year-olds are suffering from technoference. Dr. Oscar Oviedo Palacios, that's an impressive name, from UTS Center of Accident Research and Road Safety explains that technoference refers to everyday intrusions and interruptions that people experience due to mobile phones and their usage. The team assessed 700 mobile phone users across the country, aged between 18 to 83. The participants filled out a survey during which they were asked questions concerning whether they blamed their phones for losing sleep, becoming less productive, driving unsafely, and experiencing physical pain. The survey, which was conducted in 2018, replicated questions from a similar survey from 2005. The team found that 1 in 5 women and 1 in 8 men say they now lose sleep due to the time they spend with their mobile phones. This number had increased by 172% for women and 8.6%, or 17.2%, and 8.6% for men over the course of 13 years. In terms of productivity, whatever that is, 12% of the male participants and 14% of the female participants noted a decline in their productivity levels due to the time they spend on their phones. Self-reports relating to loss of sleep, productivity, showed these negative outcomes had significantly increased over the last 13 years. Dr. Oscar Oviedo Trespalacios said, I'm going to read this a little more. This originally came from the independent.co.uk. Let's see. This finding suggests that mobile phones are potentially increasingly affecting aspects of daytime functioning due to lack of sleep and increasing dereliction of responsibilities. That's okay, because if you're not motivated and you're irresponsible, right? You're irresponsible, that you're derelict when it comes to your duties, guess what will happen? A robot will be there to take care of it for you. It's okay. The robots will take up the slack. You know, as we slide into a massive state of somnambulance, if you're wondering at home what that might be, it means sleepwalking. One of my favorite words, somnambulance. As we slide into a collective state of somnambulance, the robots are waking up. Oh, isn't that interesting? That we have this strange convergence where some people are going deeper into the trance and falling deeper asleep, while the robots begin to become animated and wake up. So a recent study conducted by the universities of Oxford and Warwick found that the use of mobile phones does not reduce the amount of time families spend at home together. Oh, they're just on their phones together at home. I think it was about a month and a half ago, right around Valentine's Day, I went out to dinner. It was a nice, long, leisurely dinner. A dinner where things weren't rushed. Imagine that. And as we sat there, casually taking our time with our dinner, we witnessed at least 3 turns of the table next to us. 2 out of 3 of those turns, there were children at the table. In both instances, they were either on a cell phone or on a pad. In one instance, the mother, the father, and the 2 children were all on their devices simultaneously. So it does not reduce family time in the sort of traditional sense that physical bodies are occupying the same space, but their minds are not. Their minds are in cyber world. And then the other table that was there was mostly adults, but of course there was the moment. That's what happens. That's how it happens. That's how it goes down. So again, what we're seeing, what we're witnessing on a daily basis is this transformation of what we once knew as a human being into something different. There's a different species that's emerging on the planet. And whether it's the influx of the intense, at times, either social pressure or implied social pressure, the politically correct mandates to reassign the sex of one's child, or whether it's this idea that you can be anything, one of any number of now 90 variations, I think, of what it is to be theoretically non-binary, or whether it's the transmogrification of the species via technology, we're becoming something different. We are morphing, we are mutating into a different kind of species. And I'm not sure it's for the better. And we were having some discussions over the weekend and talking about, and this is something that maybe you guys can chime in on, that there was a time for me when I could sit down and meditate, and I could drop into meditation pretty easily. And after that meditation, I'd be good to go. I'd have a different level of awareness. Now, some of you might still be able to do that. I would also have a sense at times of feeling really super connected to everything. Like everything was God. And it wasn't that hard to tap into that. Now it takes a bit more effort to generate that kind of intention. But there was a time where it was, I think, much easier. And I have a theory about this. And the theory is that we're being hacked. And that whether it's the calcification of our pineal gland, whether it's the high levels of aluminum that are in our bodies thanks to the chaff that rains down from the sky, and as it interacts with these various frequencies, 3G, 4G, now 5G coming online, the cell phones that are omnipresent in our lives, that it creates a frequency and a bandwidth that cuts us off from our higher potential. And this is, I think, a real crisis, or something. It's a big dilemma that humans, the species in general, are facing. And I believe, obviously, it's engineered. Because the social engineers, whether it's Tavistock or the alphabet agencies or corporations who are all intertwined in a fairly significant network, they don't want us linked up to that source. They want us cut off. They want us to pursue the synthetic alternative. And the synthetic alternative, of course, is going to be either chips or some kind of CRISPR modification of your kids, or perhaps your own genetics and your own DNA. You know, they'll offer up the alternative to being connected to source. You know, it's like resourcing source. But it's a false paradigm. All that stuff is within us. But I also feel like it's been more difficult over the last 15 to 20 years to stay in touch with that, which is, again, why I also think humanity's kind of off the rails. Why we treat each other with a greater sense of indifference and hostility. Why the separation between the left and the right gets more and more kind of distilled and codified. You know, so these are I think factors that are promoting our mutation to something not quite human. And there are ways in which we can deal with it, but it takes effort. It takes a lot of effort. Number one, you got to get the metals out of your body. So whether it's getting the mercury out of your mouth, whether it's, you know, munching on cilantro or spirulina, zeolite, whatever, you got to get the metals out of your body. And it's a constant effort because we're constantly taking them in. You have to change your diet. You've got to either grow your own food or get as much organic as possible. Even then, on the organic side, it's not always going to be your best source of organic food, right? Okay. Or may not even really be organic. I'm sorry, I'm just checking on the time frame here with everything. Give me 1 second. There we go. Back in the USSR. So it's vital, it's important. You've got to stay in touch with being human. I mean, we are on the front lines of being altered every single day. whether it's the media we take in, whether it's the food we take in, the air we take in, it's very important. It's very important because not only do we have the challenge and the quest to retain our humanity, but inside of that is also our divinity. That this is our divine nature, and we're being systematically and systemically cut off from that. It's not just enough to be human, although that's important, but it's also really important to connect into that divine part of who we are, so that we can stay close to Source, so that we can have deeper empathy, so that we can understand our ability to discern, so that we can connect with a greater level and multiplicity of relationships with a higher level of novelty. Because that's what it's about. And you know, Steve and Chris touch on this from time to time. And it relates to this kind of divine spark that we have inside of all of us. So there are things you can do. There are things you can do on the front line of your life. That much I know. And I'm in the process. We're all in the process of it. You know, we're all doing our best to dig in while the tide of a dark future begins to encroach upon us or descend into our realm. Let me check in with the YouTube crowd, see what's going on with them. Alina says it was around 2010 that meditative connection became more and more difficult for us. Let's see. Let me go into the YouTube realm and see what they think about this. Check in with some of the chat there. Andrea Simpson says, I too take supplements to help clear the body and the pineal gland. She recommends horsetail tea. There you go. Vitamix. I make a killer blueberry cilantro. That's from Michael. I changed my diet, lost 30 pounds, been seriously considering zeolite. Afraid it'll make me sick. I love cilantro. It does grow really well. Just had the last amalgam removed. Let the detoxing begin. What else? Ormos and shungite is also good. Shungite is awesome. What zeolite? Isla. What else do we have here? I feel the same. It used to be easy for me to focus and concentrate. Yes. Steven says, same trouble here. Meditating 4 years ago. Took house off grid. Went solar. Peaceful here now. So far away. Let's see. Isla says, I won't have my ancestry done. They can hack your DNA. Yes. Ani says, my mind feels very jumpy. It's hard to calm it down. This used to never be the case. Yes. Let's see. Somnambulist. Easily hypnotized. Not into the robots. Yeah, so the general consensus, by and large, is that people are experiencing the same thing. And for me, it was, again, super easy to just drop into that state and feel really refreshed and really renewed and have this different kind of level of interaction with people. And that's changed. That's changed. And we've been hacked. So the idea now is, again, to figure out how to liberate ourselves, free ourselves, and detox from the constant assault on our emotions, on our thoughts, on our body. It's vitally important. Vitally important. And this is what it means to be alive, to be conscious, to be aware, to be awake on planet Earth. You know, third stone from the sun. You know, this biomatrix that we're all inhabiting. It's not a time to put the blinders on and put your head in the sand. Because your survival, not just your survival as a human, but your survival as a spiritual being and your relationship with your soul is really important. It is on the line. It is on the line. And the quality of this experience and the experience after this experience, the two are linked together. So, how you cultivate your time here now is going to determine what happens, when you exit the body. So your spiritual awareness, your emotional awareness, everything it doesn't end. It keeps on going. So if we are locked in to this cage that they're essentially setting up for us, then what it does is it locks us into kind of a version of a matrix that continues into the afterlife, because we're not rising up to the level that we can reach in this body, because we want to take that with us. That's like important. This is just one chapter. This is just one scene of our ongoing evolutionary and eternal story. So there's a lot on the line here. It's here now and here later. And if you wanted to get really far out, there are other timelines involved. I don't want to muddy the water, but there are other timelines and other alternative outcomes, and there's a lot at stake. And it all starts, right here with your own physical body, your craft, and you're the pilot of it. So the reason I talk about this stuff is because these are things that we can do something about. All right, we can't always, look at a guy like, John Bolton and say you're a neocon, warmongering warhawk, or we can't look at somebody like Jared Kushner, who's basically schooled Trump on the Golan Heights, apparently, and then Trump switched his ideas around the Golan Heights. Oh yeah, let's give them to Israel. We can't really do anything about that, per se. But what we can do is we can work with our own vehicle. And as we work with our own vehicle and we work on clearing this stuff out so that we can be more present and we can deal with some of the interference that we've got going on, then we can perhaps be more effective in other parts of our life as well. Whether it's our relationships with other people, or say in my case here in Fredericksburg and working on taking the fluoride out of the water, it just lends itself to being a bit more effective. There's kind of more of us online. And then hopefully we can circle back to that point where we can go into those places where we can meditate like we used to in 2010 or 2009, or really before there was this kind of massive interference grid and shift. And then we can bring it all together. It's vitally important. And as we look at what's happening on the outside, with the advent of AI and robotics and synthetic sentience, know that there's another reality that's taking place on the inside of people as well. And the idea here is to make people more like robots and make robots more like people. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's not hard to wrap your head around. But what is easy or more accessible to wrap your head around is what you can do about it on a daily basis. And so for all of you out there who are struggling, who are having a difficult time with the world and you find it challenging, the best bet, the best course of action for you, the front line of the human experience is right here in your own body. So I urge all of you to participate in that to the best of your ability. And so you can be there for yourself, you can be there for your spirit, you can be there for your earth body, you can be there for your spirit body, you can be there for this time, the after time, other times. It's the most vital and important thing you can do. And that what's related to that is to get support. And to have support from people that you know and love, so you can, couple and bring it together and know that you're not alone. Because there are times when that's really important. And then when you can understand and connect with the divine and the higher nature inside of yourself, meditate on it during the day. Connect in with it. Reflect upon it. Think about it. Right? That's another kind of momentary, there was a time in my 20s, all I thought about was God, this God. I mean, really. It's kind of obsessed. Scorpio rising. I'm not that obsessed. I'm trying to integrate it more. But it's important to step back every now and then and just try to connect in with that. So this has been the sort of the thesis of today's show, which is about staying human and realizing that we're going through massive changes. And some of these changes we may not be able to affect. Some of these changes we have to stare down. Then we have to make different decisions. They're going to be based on the type of world that we want to inhabit, the type of body we want to live in. It's all very important. So keep the faith, continue your journey. The journey is towards self-healing, greater awareness, greater connection to the divine, and be able to spread that in and amongst your family, your friends, and even your functioning, higher levels of creativity, higher levels of imagination. That's where it's at. All right, I think we're about out of time today. I think I scheduled to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I want to thank everybody for showing up and being a part of today's show. It's vitally important to me because it connects me with you and you with me and everybody else. And I know I'm just one hub with some spokes on a wheel, and there's a lot of other wheels out there, and we're all spinning simultaneously together, even though we don't know about it. So thank you, and as always, use your head to discern what's real, your heart to say what's possible. You can find me at robertphoenix.com, where I do astrological readings, and I guess that's about it. Thank you, YouTube clan. Thank you, 15 Minutes of Flame side. I'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you like this, tell your friends. And if you haven't subscribed, do that and hit the bell and hit the like. And I'm just, giving you the basic instructions so we can keep this thing moving forward. All right. I love you all. Have a great day. It's springtime. Enjoy it. Take it in. Ciao for now.